Welcome back to the No Name Podcast. Yeah, we literally just jumped right into it. Sorry. He just came back from a 5-hour inspection. It's your boy Herson and Kyle Graves.
Yeah, dude, it's been a day. It's been a day today. It's been a day yesterday. Not that it was like it's not like it was like a busy day. It wasn't a busy day because of this inspection. So I got there like I usually do. Punctuality is my thing. The inspection was at 9. I got there at 8:30.
Not for this shit, motherfucker.
Listen. I mean, I didn't expect this. So I got there at 8:30. I went through the house.
Oh, fuck. Money, money, money. You got it? Pick it up. Pick it up.
Sorry. No, somebody got it. You guys almost saw a live cold call. That would have been pretty cool.
Not
actually.
Cold call.
Cold call client.
Potential client.
Potential lead. Yeah. So all right. So I literally, I always try to get to my appointments early just to make sure that things are on the up and up, whatever. So I get to the house at 8:30. I would go through the house to make sure everything's like good, that they left the heat on, so that the inspector could do the heat, all of that stuff. And the inspector showed up. Granted, the appointment was at 9. The inspector showed up at 8:30 with me, which is cool. I respect that. Like, you want to get there early, walk around.
Normally
right?
they do.
Completely fine. The one thing I noticed is that he was an older gentleman. He was moving at his own pace, to put it kindly.
Okay.
So he's walking around the outside. We had some good conversation. Great guy. You know, I have nothing to say negatively about that. However, like the co-broke showed up and the buyer showed up and he's starting to go through his process of inspecting the house, and I'm noticing these little nuances that he has. So like he's explaining, and good on him for it, I guess, but he's explaining everything to the client as he's doing it. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, like, hey, he wants to be thorough, completely respect that. Everybody has their process when they do their work. But what I'm noticing is like he's explaining like, because this house that I'm selling is pretty immaculate. I don't think it really needs much. He's explaining like, you see this crack here? This crack could be from one of 19 things. It could be from moisture. It could be from the heat. It could be from the cold. And I'm like, all right, I hope this doesn't go through the whole time. So he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. It gets to be like 10:30, 11, and I'm like, all right, I've been here for 3 hours now. Like, so I look at the co-broke, and I'm like,
what's going on?
I'm like,
get your boy.
I'm like, what's up? And he kind of gives me the same look, whatever. I didn't want to be rude. Like, these people are buying a $460,000 house. So, I don't want to rush them through their inspection that they have all the right to do. However, I'm like, I got shit to do. In my head, I'm sitting there going, I got shit to do, motherfucker.
Your whole day's gone.
So, lo and behold, 8:30 to 12:30, I was sitting at the kitchen table
with your thumb up your ass.
like this, just waiting.
Yep.
Just waiting.
Sounds right.
And you know what? He didn't find anything. The house is perfect, dude.
All that.
The house is perfect. Like, he found like the little things. You found like, this breaker, this GFCI needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, the typical shit. So inspectors are always gonna find something, regardless. New construction, old house. Mm-hmm. Their job is to justify their cost and to find you something. Essentially, that adds up to how much you paid for them to be there.
Correct.
Dude, I had one yesterday, property on Cranston, and I stayed out of their way. I was like, this is pretty much new construction, 2018. Just let me know when you guys are done. Mm-hmm. Once that hour mark hit, I'm like in the kitchen. I'm like, so what's going? Like, how we looking? Mm. We don't find this is good. I was like, all right, cool, bye, have a good day. Like, just all right.
And you're out.
No need to find something when there's nothing to be found.
Yeah. But I think that goes to say, like, so a lot of, I'm sure a ton of real estate professionals, they convey this. Like, it matters who you work with. It matters, like, what inspectors you use and stuff. And it really does, because, like, all right, so for instance, one thing I also noticed about this inspector was he did everything by hand. And again,
he didn't have like a little tablet.
Much respect to him. He's got his process, but like he was giving his clients like a handwritten inspection report where I've seen inspection. Some of the inspectors that we use here at Rise, like they're doing body cam video. Yeah, they're doing everything on a PDF report, so you can download it and send it to people.
They got like a little iPad or something.
They got a little iPad, a tablet.
Right to the report. Yeah, no, it's efficient.
It's efficient, but not only that, it's like if you want to use this report elsewhere, they only have one copy of that report,
Oh,
that
yeah,
one
you can
handwritten report.
save
So
it for
they're
when
gonna,
you go-
so the clients are gonna have to copy it. They're gonna have to go through, if they can't read the handwriting, if they can't tell what it says, like. I was just thinking to myself, it just seemed like a very antiquated system. Which again, who am I to say? That's that
That's his
gentleman's
process.
That's his process. But it just wasn't efficient. Like we spent almost a whole half of a work day, just
for him to do his process.
for him to do his
And
process.
that
To
means
find
he only
almost
gets like one inspection a day, when most do like 2 or 3.
right. But again, it kind of matters who we work with because I kind of felt bad for the buyers, which was weird for me to think because I was like, even though the house didn't need anything, I know the house doesn't need anything. It's like, damn, like. You're not getting.
There's not much value here.
Best value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not wasting time. Obviously, it's not a waste of time. They wanted that, but like, there's just better out there. So I was just thinking to myself, like, I wish I could help you.
With that, I want to point out for anyone buying, if you got an inspection, save that shit. Because if you go sell that property 2-3 years from now,
Yep.
I mean, you're like, hey, Mr. Future buyer of my property, here's the inspection I did. Not only did I fix ABC through D, I'm also going to disclose the stuff that I didn't fix, so that way you have an easy transaction later. But then again, I mean, we're selfish. I'm selfish. I ain't do that shit. Whoever buys my house, figure that shit out. It's the thought that counts, right? Somebody's gonna do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, who was I to step in and say, hey, you should have used somebody else because they obviously are comfortable with them and that and the other. So, good on them. I was sitting there as the other side, being like, there's just so much. There's such a better way.
So this is the week where I'm covering for one of the agents here at the brokerage.
Shout out to who you are.
Not mention her name, Holly. Holly's a great agent. She's phenomenal with new construction and stuff.
Living it up in the DR right now.
Honeymoon up right now in Punta Cana. Super jealous. But that's another story. Yo, been only a week and it's her transactions plus my transactions. Put it like this. Let me just give you a little synopsis of what happened. I received a phone call from one of her clients yesterday. I think this was 9 p.m. at night. They're like, oh my gosh, one of the properties that we wanted is back on the market, blah, blah. I thought they accepted our offer as a backup. Mind you, that's what I
think
wish.
I know which one this is, but I'm going to
Mind
let you
you,
finish.
that's what I wish the text would have said in English, but it was jargon. I had to put it together. I had to piece it together. Normally, someone would say, hey, my name is, I know you're covering X, Y, Z. Nope, that's not what happened. It was just straight, like, words were missing letters. And I had to, like, piece together what they were trying to, like, say to me.
Now, was this in English or Spanish?
No, this was English. This was an English client.
Okay.
I had to piece together what they were trying to say to me, and after I figured it out, I was like, by the way, nice to meet you, right?
So they just hit you up like...
They just hit me, which is fine, whatever. You're getting your house, let's do it. I'm all about it. But here's the weird part. After we like established that we were gonna get on the phone this morning, we never did because they haven't called or anything. After we established we were gonna get on the phone to go over how to resubmit an offer or whatever, they left me a voice note. And that voice note was just someone breathing for 3 minutes.
I can see you sitting there just being like...
And at that
Yes.
point, I was like,
Yes.
I am officially freaked out. I was like, okay. I was like, you got me.
They're going to be standing outside your bedroom window tonight with like their nose pressed against it,
I was
just
like,
like
yo,
breathing.
what the fuck? I was like, yo. I didn't know how to make, like, they
So
were,
how did it go from there?
Oh, no, I left that shit alone. I left it on red, and I was like, yo, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Jesus.
Yeah, now that's how my week's going.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like our week has been a misfit of communication. Because it seems like most people I've spoken with this week, or haven't been able to speak with this week,
Perfect way to put it too. Yeah.
everybody that I've been trying to speak with this week, who either, whether it be an important thing, take your call.
Yeah, this might be an important one.
Ooh, live call.
Hello?
Oh, hi there. Is this the real estate guy that works with Ollie?
Yes, this is him. Yes. We were speaking last night, correct?
Yes, yeah, we were texting last night. How are you?
I'm gonna follow up with the agent selling the property to see do you want to just resubmit the same offer, or are you guys looking to amend the offer?
Yeah, no, we would, I'm trying to think what we I think they were asking. Oh shit! Let me just get my papers because I got a copy of it too.
Note that we might have to cut that part out and just show a little bit.
We
But
can-
yes,
we
right
can,
after
yeah.
I finished talking about that shit, she calls.
She calls. That was wild.
That's perfect timing, I guess.
And you know what? That was funny. You were like, she left a voice as soon as she started talking. She was like, I was like, dude, what? You guys would be surprised at all the crazy shit we hear on the phone.
That's my
Like,
week so far.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, especially like with like Zillow leads and things like that, you get people who are just like
All over the place.
sorts of type.
Oh man, I saw a foreclosure yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I got left hanging in Smithfield for a little bit until they showed up.
Oh, that's right. How'd that go?
Dude, it's a single family that has 2 separate basements. Like,
Explain that.
you come in through the back door. You're in like a patio sunroom
Mm-hmm.
that has like an open access into the kitchen.
Okay.
And then
right.
once you're in the kitchen, you got your front door and 2 bedrooms out front. And then one of the bedrooms leads into the main bathroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point goes to another section of the house where it looks like an in-laws. But from the main bathroom back this way towards the kitchen, that's one basement.
Right.
There's a door in between that you go into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Basement. Come back upstairs, you go to the in-law section. There's another basement. And everything under there, well, the foundation on both look brand new, but everything under that second section of the house, like the subfloor and everything, the wood, everything looked like brand new. So, and it had 300 amps. I've never seen a property with 300 amps.
You got 4 hot tubs?
No.
I
Dude,
got
it had
2
one-
basements, 4 hot tubs.
It had 1 hot tub, and it was a foreclosure. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
That's crazy.
Yeah, once the sun went away, I had my flashlight, but we got to a section of the basement where you have in big bold letters and like almost like melting letters that says autumn, and like a whole bunch of like little girls stuff, like it's the girls' room, like flowers and pink, and I'm like,
Oh, it's where you go to get killed.
I was like, I've seen this movie before. It's time for me to leave. I was like, I've been here before.
I know half of the minorities in the horror movies.
I was like,
Dude.
all right, I'm going back upstairs.
Oh my
Yeah,
fucking
no.
God.
I was like, nope. It is. Sun's gone. Nope.
What else?
Smithfield. I'm
What
out.
else happened to us this week, bro? I mean, there's been a lot. I feel like this week has been so busy for the both of us that I feel like I can't keep mental notes of everything that's been going on.
And normally that's how I get through the week. Mental.
I was hoping that I could keep mental notes for today so that we could do
No.
a podcast full of like I did this and I did that, and I've been, like after today sitting in that 5-hour inspection, and I was just like mentally drained. I
I
was
would
like,
have quit. I would have walked out. Did you see how another firm, brokerage, very known, was sued for like about 30-something million? Yeah. So this damn, I don't know, call him out. Yeah, fuck it. Keller Williams was sued for like 30-something mil. And you know what? I honestly don't care if I'm misquoting this shit. But all I know was that they were doing cold calls from the do not call list.
oh yeah, that's a big no-no.
You know?
That's a big
I
no.
was like, "Sheesh, how desperate
Why would
are
you
you?"
do? Why would you do some stupid shit like that?
Yeah.
Like there's enough people out there to call who, I mean, they're still gonna hang up on your ass, but
Yeah.
at
like,
least
you
they're
know,
not. They haven't at one point said, "Do not call this phone again, or I'm gonna fucking sue your
And-
ass."
So that's the biggest news I saw in real estate this week.
If we're gonna talk about lawsuits real quick, we need to talk about the lawsuit coming from the people. I believe it's out in the Midwest, who are suing the National Association of Realtors for having to provide a percentage of the sellers having to provide a percentage of their commission to the buyer's agent. You heard of that, haven't you?
I mean, yeah.
I probably
have,
said that
but
all fucking crazy.
Maybe. 'Cause
I wish I had the paper in front of me, but it's ongoing litigation. So basically, what I'm saying is, sellers, these 2 sellers, I believe it's a man and a woman, a husband and wife. They questioned, which I think a lot of people are starting to question, why am I providing 2%, 2.5% to the buyer's agent? If why am I doing that? Basically, that's what they asked, right?
Yeah.
So believe it or
Why
not,
they-
it's taken up all the way into the court system.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
mean-
bad. So basically what they're saying is they feel like it's a conflict of interest to have to pay somebody on
To
the
bring a
other
buyer,
side
yeah.
to bring a buyer in because it
Hey,
could
man.
possibly leading into the
All,
situation
all
where
I
you're
heard,
leading people
all
in.
I heard was it sounds like there's not going to be a lot of buyers agents anymore, especially
Well, so
ones that.
that's what, but that, I think a lot of people don't understand it because I think for especially me, like specializing in first-time home buyers, they obviously have a lot of questions on how do you get paid, how do they get paid, how does this whole transaction work, and and I had no problem explaining to them, but a lot of times people are like, oh, so like if I'm selling my condo or I'm selling my house, I have to give 2% to the buyer's agent.
2 or more,
Or sometimes more, depending on the brokerage, depending on the specific agent. And you have to explain to them, it's like, yes, because we have to, or it's a commonplace here that when a buyer's agent brings a willing and able buyer, to compensate them for that, for their service of bringing us a buyer, so that we can get your property sold. And I think a lot of people now are like, I see it now that I've been in real estate for as long. I see why it's an incentive to do that, but I also see from a seller's point, it's like, well, shouldn't the buyer's agent just be charging that? Like, why
Shouldn't
doesn't
the
buyer's-
buyer pay the buyer's agent?
So,
right?
so long story short, what I'm trying to tell people is, if this litigation gets, if they're gonna get rid of that for whatever reason, buyers are gonna have to start forking up money.
I mean, the cost of home ownership goes up, unless buyers decide to be real estate agents at the same time and buy their own property.
I wish I had that. I'm gonna look it up real quick before we do this. Obviously, we can keep going talking, but
Yeah,
I want to be right about.
That's just another way for the cost of buying to go up. You're gonna have, if you have to start paying your buyer agent or your agent. Hey, it is what it is. If the seller has to pay the agent, buyer has to pay the agent too. Just the cost of home ownership just goes
Yep.
up. It whittles out those that are buying and hanging on to a thread using these down payment assistance programs. But I'm sure that in the same way that there's down payment assistance programs just for closing costs, there'll be something in place as well for they're always gonna bail people out because they're not gonna. The economics of the world needs people to buy properties,
Right.
and there'll be other stuff in place to help buyers either pay their agents, pay their closing costs. So
Here's the
not
long
too
and
worried
short
about
of it. Here's like the actual long and short of it, and this is right from the National Association of Realtors. Is recent class action lawsuits filed against NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and 4 large real estate franchisors allege that sellers are unfairly required to pay the buyer's broker's commission and falsely assert that sellers do not have any ability to negotiate, which to a degree is true, but to a degree it's not, because again, you could have a seller say, well, I don't want to give them 2%, I'll give them 1%. And who are you as their agent to be like, no, you're going to give more money, because you really can't. It's getting to the point where I think buyers now, like if buyers, in the listing, if it says, co-broke percentage is going to be 2%. If you see that go to 0, then guess where that 2% is going to go? That 2% is going to go right to the buyer.
Yep.
The buyer's agent is going to say, hey, listen, the way I made a living the last X amount of years I've been doing real estate was because the sellers were contributing a large portion for the percentage that we charge. You're getting a higher level of service to ensure that you aren't running into issues that the average realtor will probably let happen. A, for reasons of being inexperienced, B, for being lazy, or C, because they just don't fucking know any better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have
I mean, because that's
the
true.
knowledge.
You got buyer agents out there that just get paid and make a transaction live in hell.
Yeah, hell yeah, especially for us,
So-
the professionals who have to actually deal with that shit.
Cool, because someone like myself would just end up doing both parts of it. You know what? You were supposed to do this, but you're dragging your feet.
How's that
so
going,
I'll
by
take
the
care
way?
of it. For what?
How's that? The transaction where,
What Kyle's referring to.
without getting too into it.
Yeah. I have a transaction where my buyer is electing to use the same attorney as the seller because he knows them. I don't like buyers doing that. I don't like my buyers doing that specifically.
But why is that an issue?
Because they're not protected. Like, how can someone properly serve you when they're supposed to also properly serve the other side of the table?
So what would be like an example? Like give me like a hypothetical.
I mean, let's just go back to real estate agents, right? Because
Correct.
attorneys, their job,
Right.
I'm not an expert in that area.
Right.
But let's say I'm selling your house, And at the same time, I say, oh, hey, Kyle, you know what? Good news. I also have a buyer. I'm going to handle both. Well, my job is to make sure you get the highest possible price for your house.
Right.
But this guy over here who wants to buy it, or her or him, they're telling me I'm supposed to help them get the house for the lowest possible price. How the fuck do I do that? How do I do both?
Impartially. How do you do it impartially? You can do it.
You can't. I
You
mean,
can do it. You can just be like, yeah, hey, you want this, we'll do this. That might work. But then what could happen is down the line in the transaction.
Issues, if they do inspections and now they want to negotiate all these fixes that's going to cause my seller money, and my seller's telling them to fuck off.
Right.
I mean, me personally, I don't know how to properly do that. There's people that do it, and good for you, get your money, but that can bite you in the ass. So in the same way that I try to help my clients, like I just let the seller use who they want to use, attorney, real estate agent, etc. And you can use whoever else you want. I have my people that get the job done, but if you want to use somebody else, I just never recommend you use the same people. Because something
It's a
comes
conflict
up.
of interest.
Something comes up. I mean, hey, you dug your own grave, but then who gets the backlash?
For one of the largest financial purchases of your life, for most people, not everybody, but for most people, if you're buying a house,
Hell no, my shit's gonna be like.
or do you
Valmer
really
or some
want
shit.
somebody who's going to be like, well, I can't really represent you to my fullest degree because I'm also representing the other side as well? Wouldn't that make you feel super uncomfortable to be like, well,
Yeah,
what
you're
if
still paying the
something
same price.
Yeah, you're still paying the same price.
Like, I can't fathom that. Hey, I'm gonna pay you what I will pay somebody else to represent me. Only I know that you might not really have my best interest at heart.
I know,
But here's the money.
I know, and it's usually just because people have a relationship with that professional, whether it be a lawyer, or a realtor, any inspector, whatever. It could just people just have that relationship, and they're like, well, I don't want to ruin my relationship with my friend because they're my friend and I love them, and it's like that's all well and good, but is your friend worth you losing, possibly the house, like losing the house? Like really, honestly, wouldn't your friend be more happy for you to actually get the house at the best rates and terms and the best legal protection you could possibly have? And you know what I mean? Like I guess I understand it from a micro perspective how people think, but in a macro, now seeing like an all-encompassing vision of the transaction,
and
you
then
need to be protected.
And in that same conversation, I mean, I got friends that have either worked or maybe working with another agent, and it's full disclosure. Yo, let me see to make sure that they have your best interest up. Because maybe you know them longer, or maybe their family, whatever it is. And I'll tell my friends straight up, ABC may be your family member, but they're dragging their feet because you should have been had a house. Or there's no way you should have lost that offer. It's just small things where it's just like...
Especially here in Rhode Island too, you know this well, is that everybody knows somebody.
Somebody.
If there's no like 6
Everybody.
degrees of separation, there's like
Dude,
2
and
degrees.
I'm not originally from here, and that's fucking annoying.
Well, it's annoying, but it's like I wish people would see this. People's emotions get too involved when they're buying a home for themselves. If they're buying investments and you have an investor who's savvy and is seeing it as an asset, all well and good. But when somebody, especially first-time home buyers, they're so excited, they're so emotional, they want to bring other people into their transaction. My dad's an inspector, and my cousin's a closing attorney, and we're all going to be doing it together. And I'm thinking to myself, you're fucked.
Dude, that happened 2 weeks ago. Someone
Because if you have a
brought-
disagreement, what are you going to do? Ruin your relationship over your disagreement, or just bite the bullet and lose money?
Yeah.
Not that it's going to happen every time, but like God forbid it does happen. Like, all right, it looks like Uncle Johnny is going to get a tongue lashing from me, but that's about it. I'm going to lose the house. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to, just Rhode Island's got to get rid of that.
I used to have a saying where I would tell my friends all the time, sometimes you just got to let people fall on their own faces.
I just hate to see people do that with a massive financial transaction.
Hey, I hear you. But,
You know what I mean?
They want to be an expert at
And
at
you
your
as
job.
much as me have always told people, like been completely forthright with somebody and be like, this is a bad idea. You can do, at the end of the day, you can do what you want. I'm telling you as a professional who's gone through this before, it's just not a good thing to do. And a lot of people will say, I appreciate that. However, I've already told Uncle Johnny that he's going to be my inspector. Like, whatever. Hey, all well and good. I told you. I hate to tell people I told you so, but...
There's a YouTube channel I used to watch, and they would always end it with, at the end of the day, this is all advice. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, we are Rise Real Estate Consultants. We are consulting you through your real estate transaction.
Yes, sir.
We cannot. It's not Rise Real Estate Enforcers. we're going to beat your head in if you don't do
everything I tell you
we're
to
not.
do.
We're going to give you the best. We're going to give you the best advice. We're going to give you the best guidance. the way that you interpret it or use it is up to you. I mean, I try my absolute best to get people to see the light, and sometimes they just.
Damn, this week has been rough. I almost ripped my chest.
Oh, you did. Let's
almost-
speak about all that.
Dude, that shit hurt.
How's
I
your
feel
titty-
better
how's
now.
your titties? What?
No, my titties are good today.
Hey.
Yo, my titties were not tittying yesterday, but today they feel a little bit better.
So Herson was benching. Are you doing 3 plates?
Yeah, 3 plates.
Got 3 plates, and
Trying.
he came in
A little
tender.
tender. I was scared as fuck. I ran out of my gym so fucking fast. I went to my wife, woke her up. I was like, yo, baby, please.
Could you
Check-
imagine? Could you
check
imagine
my
walking
chest.
into a showing and just being like, I can't move my chest?
Dude, I thought I had, because I couldn't take my shirt off, so I was like, yo, please take my shirt off. Check my titties.
You're better now, though, right?
Yeah, dude, well, I've been taking ibuprofen in an abundant amount and some gummies, and I'm fine. Now it feels like a bad stretch.
He just puts in there. I've been taking some ibuprofen, some gummies.
It's just, it's fine. Yeah, now it feels like it's like a deep stretch that's too deep. That'll be fine.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Safe to say that I'm done with that heavy weight.
Mm-hmm.
All
I don't lift heavy anymore.
I can't.
I can't.
All for trying
Not
to
I
get ready
can't.
for the Spartan race.
I can lift as much as I want to. I just choose not to. Oh,
Gotta get that Spartan race. Gotta pick up the little people that can't climb the walls.
We're gonna have to learn how to do that real quick because we got some people that need
Fuck
some
yeah.
help.
4'11" that might have to be tossed over the wall. I won't say names.
So we're gonna do a Spartan race. We'll keep you updated on it. We're gonna do a Spartan race, a brokerage wide Spartan race.
No, not really. I got some friends of mine that are joining.
Oh, great. Yep.
Yep,
So
so we
up
got
in
some-
Killington, in Vermont, and
Oh yeah. Dude, I'm like
at the end of the year, though, it's
Connecticut?
going. So we're all training to get in peak physical condition for our 20K Spartan race, which
trying to be strong like ox.
I don't even know if we have to be strong, bro. I think we just need to be able to not
Endurance.
have a heart attack and die on the side of the mountain.
It has 30 obstacles.
Okay, that's a lot.
It's 20K, but it's 30 obstacles. So that's why I was strength training.
20K, like in miles, because we're not
What,
using.
yeah, 20. I mean, what was that in miles? 13, 15 miles. It's like 1 point something. The division or whatever.
Listen, bro, I went to CCRI. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, the division's like 1 point something. Nonetheless, I don't care about the miles. It's the 30 obstacles. One of my good buddies tells me work on your grip strength. That's
Do
the
like monkey
reason-
bars and shit.
That's the reason why I'm like trying to hold a lot of weight and back
I've never
up.
done one. I've never done
Me either.
any like Spartan or Tough Mudder or nothing
No.
like that. So this will be interesting, especially since we're doing it as a group. And if anybody who knows us, like this
gonna be a
group
shit
is a
show.
motley crew of diverse
Most
people.
of us will be-
So it's gonna be funny to see everybody like.
Some or most
Dying
will be
together.
super hungover, probably. day of the
No,
race? No?
we'll still be drunk.
Your water pack gonna be filled with beer.
my Camelback bladder is gonna be
Yep.
Tito's, just Tito's.
God,
Tito's or
fuck that.
whatever this is. So,
Oh,
what do we
shit.
got? What do we got for next week? What do we want to do for next week for our podcast? I
What's
feel like
next
this week we were so busy that we just didn't really get like
Oh,
we didn't set
shit.
like a game plan of what we were going to talk
Yo,
about. We just
I'm
kind of
calling
just
it
like,
now.
fuck it.
Let me see. I'm calling it now because tomorrow night, my best friend and 2 of my cousins were heading over to Philadelphia.
You're going right.
We are watching the Eagles versus Giants. So make it a note that I'm calling it right now. Fuck the Giants. Eagles all day. Said it straight up. So next week we'll be back. The games will be over. What do we got? I mean, this weekend will be slow for me as far as real estate. I got a few people covering. So I might not have too many crazy stories. So
If you need anything, don't call me.
yeah, no, I don't. That's why I just said I got a few people covering, and I'm not on that
I'm just
schedule.
fucking with you, bro. I'm just fucking. You know I would. Yeah.
No,
I think next week, obviously we want to talk about like the stuff that we did during the week and
still
our
got
week in
fucking
real
news.
estate, but
Oh,
we
sorry. I just
how dare you?
I just remembered. Next week we'll talk more about what Herson's trying to do himself. I might be looking into new construction and building my own multifamily.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
Good for you. I didn't know that.
maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We'll talk. I'm still in the planning phase this week, so I don't have too much to talk about. So hopefully next week I'll have plans written down and a way to execute. Right now I'm gathering how to properly execute. Whether we just buy an investment property, or we go down the route of building and.
You know what we can do next week, Herson, because you're the finance guy, is we're going to go over, or we should go over, what a savvy investment looks like. Rather than just saying, I'm going to buy a multi and I'm going to rent those things out and I'm going to make money. I think a lot of people think that once they buy a 3-family or a 4-family, that they're just going to cash flow and they're going to be like the next Grant Cardone.
Oh, no.
It's more. It's a lot more than looking at it from the outside and going, yeah, I'll rent all those and
here's a fun fact.
make $2,000 a month on each, make $8,000 a month, and I'll put $8,000 a month into my bank account.
Yeah,
It's
that's not how that works. And here's a fun fact. Sometimes you buy the right single family, it could make you more money than a multifamily.
Correct.
If you buy the right, and I've helped people do that. Yeah, we can go over the numbers. There's 2 different numbers. There's I've been an investor forever. I'm not buying anything that doesn't give me at least this much money back on my money. Rate of return is what it's called. And then there's what I like to do with my beginner investors. Just make it cash flow. As long as you have cash flow.
It's going to be investment beginners boot camp is what we're going to do. Because
We'll do
I've
that.
seen a lot of people nowadays, even people who don't even own their own homes yet, they're still renters. And they're like, they call in and say, hey, Kyle, I'm looking to purchase an investment property. And my first question to them is, hey, great, what's your current living situation now? And they're like, oh, I rent. My rent's $950 a month. And I'm like, cool, great. Like, how much money do you have to save? Getting the whole thing with them. And like, the pipe dreams that people have, I feel bad because I think people have been misled by whoever it is, just having them think that you can buy a multifamily and it's going to cash flow.
Yeah.
And I think
and,
a lot of...
And what they forget is, if you're going to live in it, you can't even do the calculations anymore. Like, I still could give you calculations, but like... It's no longer the investment you think it's going to be.
And I'm not saying, and obviously, somebody who wants to be able to work with investors and acquire real estate for them, and acquire investments for them, it's not a bad thing to do, but you have to be smart. You can't just see something on Zillow, call a realtor, and say, I want to put an offer on it. You have to do your due diligence. You have to run your numbers to make sure that you're not going to buy this place.
No.
It's going to burn you.
I'm going to correct you. Go on Zillow. Find that investment that you think you want. Call a real estate agent. Let them run the numbers for you.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, you do.
Do that.
While you're sitting down. Stand the fuck up. No.
The level of disrespect that...
No respect on this.
Listen,
man.
I sat on an inspection for 5 hours today. I have no fucking patience for this.
So if I were you, I would be sitting on my ass for 5 hours. But all right, let's call it a note.
Let's do it.
Call it.
Let's do it, guys.
We got a plan.
We still have no name. We have no fucking name for this podcast. This is very new. It's in its infancy. So if anybody has any good names that we could use, that give us some ideas, leave them in the comments. If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, leave those in the comments. If you have any questions that you want answered, leave in the comments, and we will do our best to make it happen. Because we are learning as we go, bro.
Word.
We are just learning as we go. You know what I mean? We're so new at this. 3 weeks ago, this wasn't even a thought in our head, and now we're sitting here with this absolutely fucking awesome podcast room. Yeah. All these cameras and shit. And
it's crazy. You put your phone down for what, 30, 45 minutes, and it's just like 100 fucking messages. I'm like,
let's see what I got.
Fuck?
I have a Fox News alert. I have a subscription payment that I gotta do, and that's about it. So let's go eat some pizza, man.
All right, cool. Let's go.
Thanks, everybody. Next week we'll talk about investments and the smart, savvy way to do it. We'll have a little more structure than this week because this week was just an absolute fuck show.
Oh yeah, even setting up was hard.
I know.
All right, deuces.